Hello boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Dwarf Fortress, Histories of Cupidity and Tenacity. We will play our fortress Dragongranite. Where our highest priority task is to save a dwarf who is on a tree somewhere. Oh, no. He just... Wait, no. Let's see, where is Paul? Paul. Oh, hello, Loxias and Kidbu. Welcome, Clothier. Yep, he is here. Okay. So constructing this upstairs is the job which we are looking for. I wonder whether it can only be made by a mason or not. I must check up on our masons. There is one mason, Col, other mason, Edzul. Col's got no job. He might actually go to construct the stair. But Yugoslavenka, the animal dissector, has decided to save Paul. That's very nice of her. And since there are a couple of dwarves who've got no jobs, we will try to build the bridges here for the traps. Bandfire opal cluster. Why didn't we dig this? We also have plenty of wood logs, which means we will make a wooden cage. And store these cages at some place. Which is not furniture. Maybe it is furniture. Oh, it is animals actually, yeah. Forbid. Good, so let's store these cages right here. Loxian is asking, how was my day? Oh, it was a lazy day. It was lazy Saturday. I slept long. I read a book I heard reference to in the Dwarf Fortress Dwarf Fortress page. On the Dwarf Fortress page there was links to a recent roguelike conference or something like that, where Zach and Tarn Adams gave a talk on Dwarf Fortress, and the first talk of the conference was by a guy who wrote a book on roguelikes called Dungeon Hacks, and so I bought this book and start to read it. Well, it's a nice history of roguelikes and early roguelike game development. Then I watched some Star Citizen content. I wanted to see how has Star Citizen come along since last time I checked. I'm quite happy with the progress they are making there. And I played a lot of Galaxy Tracker. So yeah, lazy day really. And I was out in the city. I needed some shoes. I'll try to play badminton in my free time as well here. There's a sports club playing badminton in Wolfsburg, so I'll try to hang around a little bit, see if I can join. So yeah, not really anything. Didn't do really anything. And I took a break from Dwarf Fortress. I didn't play yesterday, where I started to read the roguelike book, and I didn't play today all day. Although it was originally the plan, I wanted to stream Friday and have pretty much all day stream Saturday and Sunday. But I guess I'll have an all day stream tomorrow. Yes, so about those bridges for the traps, let's build a bridge. My usual winded trap corridors, right? I wonder if I just should make a little more accessible and use a bridge here as well. Or not. I guess not. These trap corridors usually don't last too long. So let's have a raising bridge here. Limestone blocks. Let's have a raising bridge over here. Versatile says the demo was insane, the 3.0 demo. I don't really remember that demo, to be honest. What I was just looking at was the progress they made on FPS, this eye stabilization. I love the guns. I think I'm going to enjoy the FPS. Although I don't usually play FPS. First-person shooters is not my sort of game. I tried a little bit of it back in Leipzig. I tried to get some practice in Counter-Strike, but yeah, I didn't really play it longer than a week. And here on my channel I even featured this, I don't know what sort of, how was it called? I think Ghost Recon. Yes, I think it was Ghost Recon. I played a little bit of that. It was not so bad, but I generally suck at FPS games. But nevertheless, I like how what is CIG's approach on FPS games. I like how they make it real. I think they mentioned another game which really does fire bullets out of the gun's barrels, and that is Arma. And I'm not sure how goes Arma about eye stabilization, but Yeah, I just like what they do for the FPS combat there. It's not this sort of get killed and quick respawn combat, but it's really, you have to value your life. While your life. Well, anyway, I'll probably suck at Star Citizen FPS combat anyway, but still, I like how detailed are they making the guns, and I hope that they will make some real well, incorporate some real things like real bullet ballistics, and bullets will have mass which will interact with on the fly computed physics with other objects and stuff. Could be very, very sophisticated gunfight then. And I think this should be enough for now. Good evening, Botondar and Lord. Versatile says, I'm a Counter-Strike god, Nagidal. Just stick with me and you'll be okay. Well, I'm not going to play any more Counter-Strike. But if you happen to be a Star Citizen backer and will play Star Citizen, I'll gladly stick around you when it comes to FPS and some first-person combat. You have to teach me how to do it, because my problem is probably not the game mechanics. It's just skill. You get to get skilled with mouse and keyboard with FPS, but it's the tactics. It's the tactics, where and when to take cover, judging what will your opponents do, whether they will stick behind cover and waiting for you to come, or how they will move, whether there are any other support gunners around. It's this team combat which I don't understand how it really works. So all right, so let's follow Yugoslavenka as she tries here to save ball. And there she goes. Yeah, constructing the stairs. Is this blood? I hope not. It's just rambutans. Okay, now we can build construction up and down stair. Limestone blocks. Another up and down stair. Yeah. Okay. Why does this guy have an upside down exclamation mark? Human bard. It's just storing. Oh, it's he's storing an item in stockpile. Limestone mug. Well, that doesn't look like a mug. I have to find out what this exclamation mark means. Damn it, what is my login to Dwarf Fortress Wiki? There it is. I knew I had something on my user page. Status icon, yeah, that's it. I never can find this page on Dwarf Fortress Wiki. This one, status icon. But as I can see, it hasn't been updated in a while. Oh, now there are these new icons: playing make believe, telling a story, reciting poetry, performing. But there is not this upside down thing. So maybe it isn't he's not holding only the mug, but also something. Coating of tears. Maybe it's the Kosla he is holding in his right hand. Maybe it is. The musical instrument. Kosla is a randomly generated musical instrument here in our civilization or in this world. Anyway, let's check up on the stair construction progress. Nothing there yet. We still have got one log of wood to haul. Looks like we don't really have any ammo bin, do we? Because the dwarves are not hauling the bolts. Yep. like we don't really have any ammunition storage. What's this? It's finished goods. What's this? Weapons stockpile. Take a look. Crossbows, axes, crossbows. I guess it excludes ammunition, doesn't it? Yes, it does. All right, if it does, then we need an ammunition stockpile. We don't really have any place for it right now, but let's just how much ammunition can we hold? Let's just start with a temporary stockpile of ammunition here. And good afternoon, Archmage Falagar. We can build another piece. Of the stair. Yeah, and then we will get eventually to Paul. Yugoslovenka cannot encrust, but we can cut clear zircon, bent fire opal. Do we have any cages done yet? We should have 3 cages. Lord Magnus is here. Good evening. I'm relatively new to Dwarf Fortress, but isn't there a graphics mod or something to enhance the in-game graphics to make it easier to see the big picture? Yes, there is. There's a lot of graphic packs for the Dwarf Fortress. I don't use any of them. I just prefer plain ASCII. It is, of course, harder to see what's going on if you have the ASCII, but I like the tradition of ASCII characters in roguelikes. I just also there is some problems, stability problems, and with these graphic tile sets, which are a pretty aggressive hack to the game. But yeah, the older version of Dwarf Fortress gets, the better and the more stable these graphic tile sets run. But I don't like to use them, so no. But I know most other streamers stream Dwarf Fortress with graphic tile sets. And I see I have built this bridge wrong. I must build the bridge one more tile to the right, to the left. Limestone blocks, and this bridge as well must be a little bit longer. It's a good thing I've noticed. Oh, actually, it was okay the way it was. No, it was okay. The bridges were okay. So once again, I must say, when I was new to Dwarf Fortress myself, I also tried to play with ASCII tileset and I couldn't make it. It was just too complicated for me to see what's going on. So I used actually a graphic tileset. I think it was Phoebus, and I'm sure it was Phoebus. And it helped me to understand Dwarf Fortress. It's really much easier if you have the graphics. But then I didn't like. Well, some of the players posting in the forums often post pictures from ASCII tile sets, or occasionally in the wiki you see ASCII tile sets if some constructions are explained, and then I realized I can't even read the default ASCII tile set the game has, and I said, okay, maybe it's time you switch to ASCII to learn how to read the posts in the forums and in the wiki. But then I realized sometimes when I see a post in the forum which has a screenshot of a graphic tile set, I just well, it's not as hard, but I sometimes have to really think, oh, okay, what is this thing now? Like recently I saw two barrels next to each other, and I thought, well, why is he placing barrels in a corridor? It turned out to be a pump. Of course, the pump looks also like two barrels here, but it's not the picture of two barrels. It's these pictures of these division signs, and sometimes I don't know whether I would find it easier to just strange. Or chair. I see a chair in the graphic tile set, and I see, okay, why is there a chair? But I realize, okay, it's not a chair. It's the end of carved tracks for mine carts. You know, they ride on tracks. They are carved into stone, and where the tracks end, it looks like a chair in the graphic tile set. And I said, why is there a chair? Of course, it does look like a chair here, but it blends and connects to the rails in a way that it just doesn't occur to you this is a chair, because it just looks like, okay, the rails go here and here they end, and that's the dead end of the rails. You don't even start thinking of a chair. But in a graphic tile set, you see rails, and then the rails symbol, and then there is not such like an end of rails symbol. There is a chair. I said, why? So that's why I prefer this, and I really love ASCII art. You know, there is lots of neat things. Why a character is representing what it is representing, and I just like it. Yeah, you just basically whatever you feel more comfortable with. It's either most people, of course, most people feel more comfortable with graphic tile sets. It's just easier to understand. I know it very well how easy it is. It really. I was very close to giving up on Dwarf Fortress because I thought, oh, it's so hard, so demanding. There's so many things to do, so much multitasking involved, and to add to all of this is just understand the picture, how the game is talking to you. So you're overwhelmed with the number of tasks you have to perform, overwhelmed with the confusing user interface, and overwhelmed with unreadable display. Yeah, so if you can get one of these off your head, it's just, it means a lot. Yes, last time we were digging some temples, but our miners are busy building another stockpile. Did we actually designate the ammo stockpile? Yes, we did, I believe. Ammo stockpile is somehow here. No. Where's our ammo stockpile now? Where did I put it? I'm almost sure I designated an ammo stockpile. Was it here? It's a gem stockpile. This is a metal armor stockpile. Goodness. Oh yes, it is metal armor stockpile. That's okay. This is our ammo stockpile. Yes, this is it. Optimus says, Neg, I'm still hoping for Skyrim type graphic in Dwarf Fortress. Never. How would you even do this? The closest thing which gets to Skyrim-like graphics in Dwarf Fortress is Armok Vision. Are you aware of that project? It's like a 3D Minecraft-ish world generated from Dwarf Fortress, where you can just fly around and walk around in your fortress. But it's nowhere near complete. It's just early alpha. Botondar says, funnily enough, if the game was originally made with sprites instead of ASCII characters, then the star 2, then the two symbols representing the same thing problem would not exist. Yes, you're completely right, Botondar, yes. But having sprites or tiles, you have to design them, and it takes time. Those guys maintaining the graphic tile sets, they have a really hard job to do. It's not easy. So all that time is free for Toadie to program. They just didn't want to have any offload as much work. I mean, as little work as possible with the graphics, and the easiest thing is just to use the ASCII tile set. Whatever. It's of course back then. I wish sometimes he used Unicode, because Unicode has certain areas which are free for the user to define. I think there are like complete layers and many characters in the Unicode font are user definable, which has written normally as a type set or a character set has like integer values from 0 to whatever, how many characters there are, and all of it is assigned to a certain character. But Unicode has most of it assigned to a character, but some of it is freely assignable by the user or by the font maker. Whoever makes a Unicode font knows that there are certain parts of the character set which are freely usable. And so he could have used Unicode font for making all the text. It would be much easier for the translators of the game if we want Russian or Greek or Hebrew, Dwarf Fortress. It would be much easier to translate, because you just replace characters. You don't have to replace the character set. And all these free-to-use Unicode character ranges could be, well, he had to create a font which would have something like barrels and mine carts and tracks and whatever, walls. So yes. Optimus says, you used Armag Vision 10,000 times, not what I want. I didn't use Armag Vision even once. I only used this isometric view. It's called what was it called? Stone Sense. That's a completely different thing. No, Armag Vision is a real 3D engine. Armag Vision is in, I think it's Unity. I'm not sure whether it's Unity, but it's some sort of a 3D graphics engine. But if the game used sprites internally, then you could still add new types of tiles as characters. You would have to texture. Yes, of course, Botondar, yes. So Unicode would be a font solution, and sprites would be the ultimate solution, because then you would have, yeah, basically you could add sprites as for this foreign language characters, but yeah. And add sprites on the way as you go, yeah. But well, yeah, I give you that. Sprites are good, but somehow Toady wanted to stick with the roguelike tradition and start with ASCII. I guess he never really foresaw how big a project this will get. If you're familiar with the Dwarf Fortress development history, you'll realize it started as a complete side project of this game-making studio, Bay 12 Games. They were very unsuccessful game makers. They had like 1,000 abandoned projects and 2 sort of playable games, which was World War I Medic, and another thing was, I don't know, what was it? What was the other game they had? Liberal Crime Squad, I think. Liberal Crime Squad and World War I Medic. That were the only 2 playable games which had any popularity, and Dwarf Fortress started as a project. And it grew, and yeah, it's just the way it grew. They started with ASCII and they stick with it. It's like you're asking. You could as well ask, why do we use this keyboard layout as we have this QWERTY keyboard layout? Why? And why do we have? Why is it not a square grid? How we have keys? Why is it shifted a little bit? It's not even half of the key width. The row is shifted not even by half of the key width, and the third and fourth row are shifted even other. So why do we have keyboard like this, and why is the letter arrangement like this? It is all historical, because at the time there were typewriters they had these hammers which hammered the letters on the paper through the ink tape, and these glyph hammers had to be often when we're in such an arrangement, then that often if you typed two glyphs or two letters in a quick sequence, the mechanical hammers would get stuck next to each other and stick together and not type. So a keyboard layout and a hammer arrangement had to be found which would often alternate between left side and right side. So when you type English text, there is certain probability that two adjacent letters are one side of the keyboard and one of the other side. So a keyboard layout had to be found where you mostly switch left, right, left, right, left, right between any two adjacent letters in English, or any two adjacent letters have as wide or operate two glyph hammers as wide apart as possible, so that the hammers would not get stuck when typing quickly on the typewriter. And that is how this QWERTY layout evolved, and that is why we have these key rows shifted a little bit. And now, at the moment, typewriters got digital, became digital. This was no longer any problem, and actually we could have any other keyboard layout, and the keys would have been arranged differently. We could have a plain square grid like we have on the numpad here, but it never came to be, never caught on. If some researchers did new keyboard layouts, like Dvorak is a keyboard layout optimized for the least finger movement. If you type English text, you have to shift rows with your fingers and move the fingers quite a lot. And Dvorak was optimized not for any hammers, but for the least finger movement. That most of the English words you could type with your base finger settings, with the 8 fingers you are having on the keyboard in the base arrangement. Those were the most frequent ones, and you had vowels on one hand and consonants and stuff like that on the other end. It made sense. It's a great layout. It saves you time when typing and doesn't make you move the fingers as much. But it never really caught on because, well, it's historical. Everybody is used to the QWERTY keyboard now, and we'll probably stick with it. So that's for the same reason these Tarn brothers stick to ASCII. It was at the time of the start of the development of the game. It was just the simplest solution, and they went at it, and then they stick with it. Because to remake it would cost a much effort. Yes, so this can be our secondary wood stockpile here. Not that we have any wood to store in here, but soon we will have. Bulgarian says, I was only on part 3. Oh, Enrico says, I haven't had the time to watch any of the 8 videos, so I guess I'm starting with part 9 now. And that's wrong. This is not part 9, this is part 10. I just forgot somehow. Oh, I actually renamed it, but I did not check whether I'm really logged in, or somehow I had to reload the page and didn't stick. It's not about, it's not Midsummer, it is, yeah, but it's pretty much Midsummer still, but we are not doing military and jobs. We did that last session. We are doing saving Paul. That's a dwarf who got stuck on a tree and cannot get down somehow. So we're building a stair next to the tree for him to climb down. Otherwise he will die of thirst up there. So I wonder, do we have any processable plants or stocks? We've got quarry bushes. Where do we have quarry bushes? Yeah, we do have quarry bushes. We are processing plants to bag. That is good. Why don't we... Yes, it's called leaves. It's the leaves category, isn't it? Yep. So we've got quarry bush leaves. That's what we can cook. Quarry bushes we can process into quarry bush leaves. And quarry bush leaves we can roast. Bulgarian says, why do you use ramps instead of stairs? For a simple reason. Sometimes when I used stairs to look for a cavern, it occurred to me that I'm digging straight through a pillar in a cavern without noticing that there is a cavern around me. And when I dig stairs, the caverns are several Z levels deep. And if I dig stairs, I eventually peek out of the rock column in the cavern and discover the cavern. So it's easier to discover. And I believe also when you need to move your dwarves from one part of the map, let's say we had our main stairs here, and somewhere deep down below we had magma, and our forges would be somewhere here, whatever, on level like 120 levels below. So we would have to path 120 tiles down and about 50 tiles to the side. But using ramps, you can just path 120 tiles down, and while you're at it, you can somehow slowly change the position on your map, and while moving down, you can cover more distance in a shorter path. What did I say? Cover more yeah. You get the idea, right? The path from point A to B is shorter if you do it by ramps. But it's not always if you optimize it, of course. If you look at how I did my ramps now, it's just zigzag. I'm having a ramp to the east, then south, then west. I'm just looking for a cavern, you know. We still have to discover. I think we even discovered the third. The third layer, the third cavern layer. And I just don't know where it could be. I have no idea. Been pretty unlucky so far. Look at this. It's all probing for a magma sea. Haven't been lucky. No luck so far. But since we are here, we can designate new ramps here. Also, if you have ramps, once you have ramps and you want to add minecart tracks, you can just carve them onto ramps. Had you have a staircase, there is no way you can move minecarts on the stair, whereas you have ramp, okay? You're hauling the materials up and down on a ramp for a while, but then you decide, okay, let's do minecarts. Then you just carve tracks and use minecarts. It's the same way you had for years on your ramps. It's another advantage of using ramps. But you have to bear in mind that a ramp can only exist if there is an adjacent wall. So if I have a ramp here and find jewels or whatever precious material right behind them. I can't really dig it until I can dig it, but I have to build a wall there to make a ramp again. So the ramps require at least one wall around them to work. That's the disadvantage. And you have to be more careful about how you isolate yourself from a cave, because ramps, the fact that they are dug by channels, and channels are effectively across 2 Z levels, there is some peculiarities to it. Elizabeth is here. Hello, Nagi. How useful is magma beside being an unlimited source of fuel and obsidian? Well, you can weaponize it. People like to pump magma, or even start on volcanoes, embark on volcanoes, and have build magma traps. Have some sort of magma moat, where when enemies are on a bridge, it will retract, they will fall into magma and die. I don't know, I never really weaponized magma. I tried it once, but the fortress failed. Even before it could really get to the fun part. Salutations, Isix. An unlimited source of fuel and obsidian magma. Yeah, I don't really know. It's it's a thing to play with. It's fun. It makes all sorts of unexpected situations, and you can use it for design. Dwarf Fortress Wiki often features a screenshot of a royal tomb. Just on the magma sea level, where magma was incorporated to the room design. It was looking very nice. It's looking very nice. You can I guess magma is there to make adamantine mining even more challenging, because adamantine, for it to be so precious, it is really hard to dig. Not only is there the danger that you will unleash the fun hidden in the adamantine tubes, but also you will have to somehow deal with the magma all around it. The adamantine tubes are mostly immersed in magma, and it's pretty much impossible to dig, right? So it makes it even more challenging and even more valuable. I mean, it makes sense that adamantine is so valuable because it's so hard to mine. Have you ever reclaimed a ruin? I don't like to reclaim ruins. No, I don't think so. Isaac says, "Can I share drinks?" Oh, Isaac, I've noticed you have sent me. You have sent me an email or a message on YouTube with your work in progress poems. Yes, of course, Isaac. I'll make you a moderator. If we will recite some of your poems later on. So we have temples as well. So temples, we have walls. Precious crystalline sanctuary. I need to make an overview of temples. So we have a temple, the monastery of walls. Then we have the just church, the convent of vaults, the crystalline convent, the sanctum of evisceration, sculpted sanctuary, and then we have at some other place another temple, this, the chapel of hoping. I present you all with a pop song, says E6. We'll look into it right when I put some order into our temples. So, Fragrance of Dreams is our taverns. So, yeah, we still need some musical instruments. Okay. All visitors welcome. Chapel of Hoping. That is to Aval. Monastery of Walls is Risen. What? Dedicated to Zephyr Searches? I don't know. Unbridled Wanderer. Convent of Vaults is dedicated to the Vault of Gorges. Crystalline Convent is Avus Granite Mines. Sanctum of Evisceration is eviscerating. Litast the laws of confidence. The sculpted sanctuary is dedicated to Okosh, knighted pride. Well, okay. So this guy should be here. Meditate on thunder. Nice, he's meditating on thunder. Convent of Vaults, crystalline convent eviscerating sanctuary. And below this sanctuary we will have another temple. So we have Okosh, we don't have Savot, the unbridled zephyr. It's Eva Zephyr searches, the unbridled wanderer, and this will be Savot, the unbridled zephyr. Yes, let's dedicate this temple to Savot. The Monastery of Rags. Yeah, nothing there yet. And so let's take a look at what is going on in our tavern, the Fragrance of Dreams. Is anybody singing or reciting poetry? No. Socializing. So let's take a look at Isaac's poems. He wrote nice poems about our fortress. Dwarven problematics. Yeah, let's share it somehow. Window capture. Can we? Tavern song. Yep, poems, no way. We cannot share poems. Somehow, I don't know what it is, but this thing just doesn't want to. Doesn't want to display Google Chrome pages. The revised to be musical. So you remember the capybara fights we had in the previous episodes? There is a poem on that by Isaacs. How do you read it? Do you read the left column and then the right column? It is sang by alternating from left verse to right verse. Okay. What is on the left is shout by one dwarf. What is on the right is shout by everyone else in unison. So this is how it works. Okay. And it is... I see. Dragongranite's anthem and most popular merrymaking songs. A song composed by the baby dwarf Isaacs Keshak Sazir Swelterbridge. Isaac Swelterbridge to the humans. What would one hear past midnight by the fragrance of dreams? It is said that this piece grows in strophe dawn after dawn. Ah, okay. So it's a work in progress. Oh, okay. I'll let it update you. You messed up Yugoslavenka 6. All right. Let's wait for you. Until you give me the go, and I'll try to read and recite some of it. Well, Yugoslavenka is a female, but of course she plays. Is her dwarf also a female? Yeah, she is. Yugoslavenka is our female. Dwarven child plays with a limestone toy hammer. Lovely. Do we have a legendary mechanic by now? We have a legendary mechanic. So you send me the link to the updated thing. All right. So we'll alternate between left verse and right verse. Okay, so one dwarf. Capybara stop. 1/1 chop. The dwarves are skilled. Capybara is killed. No one wants to butcher it. We're all drinking beer. 3x approach. Those we do not fear. The dwarves are skilled. Bash it with a shield. That is exact. We had this. Wow. Absolutely nailed it. Okay. And there is a short one we can have right now. There's work to be done. Let us drink and have fun. There is no time to relax. Let us pick the axe. Let us pick up the pickaxe. Okay. So if you say kindly, there is work to be done, then they respond, there is let us drink and have fun. So let's say, don't bother us. But if you are more pressing, there is no time to relax. Then they start working. Let us pick up the pickaxe. Okay, we'll do more of these songs later on. Let's see how far we got with the staircase here. Already somebody going to construct the staircase. Okay, there it is. We can designate another one. Oh, we have a big cockroach. Actually, might be that we have some leather to work with now. We've got 41 quivers. It's pretty much. It's quite a lot. Quite a lot of quivers. Optimus says, Nag, I noticed great FPS improvement in the new version that I downloaded. Wanna try temples and so on. Meaning what? Like, is there a... So you haven't tried this 43.x version of Dwarf Fortress yet? I know that there were lots of issues. That's why I didn't play the early 42 point something versions. I waited and waited. I basically waited only until Dwarf Fortress hack caught up with this new branch of, or newish Dwarf Fortress releases. I always wait for Dwarf Fortress hack to catch up and it be fully incorporated into the starter pack. But yeah, if it's got less FPS issues, it's okay. I guess it's got. Does it have something to do with the 64-bit compiler and 64-bit programming now? Oh, you're speaking about the bleeding end, the super new most current version of Dwarf Fortress. Then yeah, I don't play that. If we can die an FPS death, it will be a success, trust me. So I don't mind retiring fortresses on FPS death because 43.04 and 5 are 64-bit. Yeah, I'm playing 4303. Okay, so I'm still playing the 32-bit. But yeah, it's a matter of weeks, right, or months before DFX catches up with this. We can play this world until then. And so why aren't we making any bone crafts? Come on, get to it. What is my bone carver doing? We have a good weaponsmith. How about our armor smith? Armoring, oh wow! Look at him. He started as a complete noob, had absolutely no experience with armoring, and now he's an adequate armor smith. I like that. What's currently happening? Bolts and crossbows. Yeah, we will. How many crossbows do we have right now? I think we have enough crossbows for the moment. Got like 40 crossbows. Yeah, it should be enough for a while. Actually, crossbows. It depends also on the quality. But we have fine quality. We have 2 masterwork crossbows, fine quality crossbows. Yeah, let's see the equipment. So these are my melee squad. They've got some hammers and axes. We can assign them armor now that we have some armor. These should have crossbow. So this guy has a usual crossbow. We don't want that. Uzol, militia captain, should have a masterwork crossbow. Or actually, masterwork crossbow should have those who are most skilled. Let's see at the skill of Uzol. But Uzol happens to be one of the most skilled marks dwarves, so he deserves a masterwork crossbow. Give him a specific weapon, copper crossbow. Another super skilled marks dwarf is Ustuth from the Gluft Forests. So get rid of this crossbow and take this Uber crossbow. And check all others now. Rigoth, he's got an avocado wood crossbow. Oh please, you can have a fine quality crossbow at least. Iton miner is a marks dwarf and doesn't has date palm crossbow. Weapon, specific weapon, fine quality crossbow. How about carpenter? No, this crossbow is not good. Have a fine quality. Mayor has a good crossbow, good crossbow. This guy has a crossbow. We will have a specific weapon, a well-made crossbow. Okay. Lord says no, open the caverns yet. Are you crazy? No. We have absolutely no military. Why would I open the caverns? Optimus says this version, speaking about the newest version of Dwarf Fortress 4305, says works very well on bigger terrain for me at least. Already have around 110 dwarves, no FPS drop much yet. Big terrain, 4x4 or even 5x4. Yeah, it's okay. The FPS drop for me, it never really occurred at for the number of dwarves. I had 200 dwarves and still okay FPS, but it's the number of items the game has to keep track of it. I realized when I started to hoard things like lots of full stockpiles, lots of food, lots of trinkets, lots of items, then it was then when I started to notice, okay, the FPS is really slowing down. And when I got into mechanics and started to make these water generators and pumps and fluid moving fluids around, it was then when I saw and mills, yeah, mechanics and mills. It was all then when I started to see, okay, there is a FPS drop. And of course animals. My last biggest fortress with these successful bridge traps, we had lots and lots of animals. We had these wild boars, which we have almost domesticated, and we had really lots and lots of animals, like 2 floors or at least one floor underground, complete with pastures. It was that what really slowed down the FPS. It was just horrible. Hello, Paul. Tuning in from bus stop. Nice. Paul, you are giving us trouble. Your dwarf ended up stuck on a tree. Your dwarf is up here, thirsty, and sees no way how to climb down. We don't know how you got there. Maybe one of the flying giant roaches lifted you up there. But there was no fight report about that. Somehow you climbed up a tree and you cannot get down. So we are currently building a staircase next to the tree and hope that you will climb down. There should be a song about that. If Ezix is looking for another topic to write poems about, he can write a song about Paul being stuck on a tree for 2 seasons, almost dying of thirst. You seem tired, Nugget. A hard day? No, a lazy day. I'm okay. I'm just noticing my nose is feeling a little bit stuffed. I don't know. I hope I'm not catching. I didn't catch a cold somewhere or anything like that. Elizabeth says, just cut the tree down. The worst that can happen is broken leg. This is the broken neck is what can happen. My dwarf is like 7 levels up. No. I will not do that. Optimus says, I'm telling Nag to cut the tree down. It's a quite high tree. I'm afraid. I'm really afraid. Look, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Z levels. That's really high. No, I don't think so. Paul is a very important dwarf. He's to be our clothier, right? We can't have him work with crippled hands or spine or whatever. He must be capable of making the best clothes this world has seen. Imagine the pit we did below the bridges as goblin traps were 10 or at most 12 Z levels high, and this is 3/4 of it. No, that's and we as Elizabeth says, we don't have soap industry yet, so no, nothing. Oh yes, another thing we need to take care of is of course the hospital. Now that you mentioned soap, thankfully. And yes, we should train our armor smith slightly more. So let's make a couple more bolts. And then start making armor again. breastplates, greaves, helms, gauntlets, low boot, shield. Oh, I see. This is not necessary. I remembered now that we have actually another forge where all of this is being made already. Yes. Oh, in that case, it's very good. Elizabeth says, I find it funny how I supply my hospital for resources to treat 50 dwarves at a time, but only have 2 dwarves at most. You're a lucky one. How strong is your military? How many squads do you have, or how many dwarves do you have in the military? Is it like 80 dwarves what you have in the military in a 200 dwarves fortress? That's about what I'm aiming to, or aiming for, is about 80 dwarves in a 200 dwarf fortress. Lord says, build a badass hospital with several rooms and stockpile, optimal organization. You either have 2 wounded or your whole force slaughtered. Yes, Lord, exactly. That's also my experience. Hospital for treating 30 dwarves with soap and what is it called? This traction bench at every bed, and yeah, you have either no injuries or really like cases, hopeless cases, like chopped off hands and but anyway, we need to do this. We need a hospital. So I wonder, hospital. There is an aquifer, so we don't have too many options. But this is where we can draw water from. Let's have it as a low priority mining task designated. Slightly higher priority then. Make shell armor. No need for pesky metal armor. Pfft, shell armor. It's even worse than wood, isn't it? Well, maybe slightly better than wood. I don't really remember, but no. Shell armor. Okay. And here we could have the waterworks. A door right here. Is there any historical precedent for shell armor? Yeah, not at our fortress, but maybe Elizabeth has some experience with shell armor. Rock crystal! Wow! We can have crystal glass. And autumn has arrived. I wonder, is this the end of today's session? It's 22, so 10 p.m. Yes, I think I'll call it a session. Let's stop here for today. Tomorrow I should stream more. I think at least like 3-4 sessions tomorrow. So Paul, you don't need to go get back. We will stream tomorrow morning. I see you then. I wish you all a good night. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Many thanks to Isix for his poems. We will read some more of them tomorrow. Have a good night. I'll see you in about 10 hours. Or maybe 11, 12 hours. I don't know when I will wake up. Good night.